Hello, my name is Krystle and you are here on my channel Love Lily, and this is really something that I wanted to talk about because it affects me personally, it affects my life, and it is not an easy thing to talk about, so forgive me if my words and my thought process are kind of all over the place. Also, my daughter is watching cartoons in the other room, so I apologize if that is distracting. As the title of this video states, this is about compulsive debting, or being a compulsive debtor, or a compulsive shopper. First things first, I have to say that I am not a psychologist. I am not working in the mental health care field. I am just simply a person that is dealing with life as a compulsive debtor or a compulsive shopper, as you wish, whichever way you want to call it. And I just wanted to get this information out there because it's just not out there, and there's not a lot of awareness about this. A lot of people probably don't even think that it exists or that it is even a form of addiction, which that's what it is. It's a form of addiction. So I just wanted to touch base with this. I don't know how these videos are going to play out. I know that it's going to be more than one video. But if you see me looking at some notes here, I have my iPad and I just wanted to go, I wanted to touch base on some things. All the information that I provide here, I am reading verbatim from the DEBTORS.org, and I'll go ahead and leave the link to that below in the description box if you want to find out more information. I just want to start this off with, I have been and am a compulsive debtor. I have been known of my symptoms looking back, probably since I was 17, or maybe even early as, no, I'd say 16, 17 years old. So it's going on 15 years now that I've kind of been like this, or had this mentality. So according to the DebtorsAnonymous.org website, signs of compulsive debting. Number 1, being unclear about your financial situation, not knowing account balances, monthly expenses, loan interest rates, fees, fines, or contractual obligations. Number 2, frequently borrowing items such as books, pens, or small amounts of money from friends and others and failing to return them. Number 3, poor saving habits, not planning for taxes, retirement, or other not recurring but predictable items, and then feeling surprised when they come due. A live for today, don't worry about tomorrow attitude. Number 4, compulsive shopping, being unable to pass up a good deal, making impulsive purchases, leaving price tags on clothes so that they can be returned, not using items you've purchased. Number 5, difficulty in meeting basic financial or personal obligations and or an ornate sense of accomplishments when such obligations are met. Number 6, a different feeling when buying things on credit than when paying cash, a feeling of being in the club, of being accepted, of being grown up. Number 7, living in chaos and drama around money, using one credit card to pay another, bouncing checks, always having a financial crisis to deal with. Number 8, a tendency to live on the edge, living paycheck to paycheck, taking risks with health and car insurance coverage, writing checks hoping money will appear to cover them. Number 9, unwarranted inhibition and embarrassment in what should be a normal discussion of money. Number 10, overworking or under-earning, working extra hours to earn money to pay creditors, using time inefficiently, taking jobs below your skill level and education level. 11. An unwillingness to care for and value yourself, living in self-imposed deprivation, denying your basic needs in order to pay your creditors. Number 12, a feeling or hope that someone will take care of you if necessary, so that you won't really get into serious financial trouble, that there will always be someone you can turn to. And those are the 12 signs of compulsive debting. Now, in my personal experience, I do not have all of these. I don't have all 12. It's not something that you look at and you're like, well, if I don't have all 12, then I'm not a compulsive debtor or a compulsive shopper. It's just one of those things. You'll feel it in your heart that, how much of this is true? How much of this does this apply to me? Do I feel that enough of it applies to me to where I should seek help? Or take steps in the direction of, changing my habits or changing the way I look at money. And it could be something as simple as setting up a savings account and, really sticking to putting money into that savings account for emergencies. Just to touch base on, some of the things that really rang true with me in the signs of compulsive debting. It's just like number 12, a feeling or hope that someone will take care of you if necessary, so that you really won't get into serious financial trouble. That person is my husband. My husband is always there to bail me out. He's always there to make sure that things are covered. I had to and have to at times remind myself that, that well has run dry. There's nothing that we can do, or that he can do to help me in the event that I have a relapse or, I go on a spending spree or something like that. So, I have to reaffirming that to myself and letting myself know that, there's nothing else. There's no more bailout. There isn't anything else that can be pulled from somewhere, or strings can be pulled or whatnot. There just isn't. And, so that's something that really hit home with me in my heart. The number 9, unwarranted inhibition and embarrassment in what should be a normal discussion of money. I can't tell you how many times that I felt embarrassed to talk about money with, my close friends or my husband, because it leads to an argument because I'm embarrassed, or I go on the defensive because I'm trying to hide something, or I'm playing the game of trying to pay something off before somebody else finds out that I've used my credit card or I've went on a shopping spree. It just creates a lot of negativity and a lot of animosity towards people that don't deserve it, towards yourself. You don't deserve that kind of stress or negativity in your life. You could be so much happier. And, something that you have to really realize when you're a compulsive debtor or a compulsive shopper, it's the same thing with any other addiction. You could be addicted to alcohol, you could be addicted to drugs. You have to find the reason why, what's fueling your need to go out and do those things. Why do you feel that you have to go out and spend all this money and go shopping, and why do you feel like you can't pass up a good deal at the store? Because there's something in you that is telling you, like, you need that, and it's going to make you feel better. Well, why? Mine was depression and boredom, and, I spent a lot of years, we didn't have a lot growing up, so in my mind, to be a successful adult was to have a bunch of stuff, and the more stuff I had, the more successful I was. So I built up this facade of, look how successful I am, I have all these things, but yet at the same time, where there was a mountain, there was a river of debt behind that mountain of stuff. And that's just embarrassing, and it's not pretty at all. And I don't know if this is going to help anybody. I really hope it does. There's things I could continue to talk about. I don't know how this video or how this series is going to pan out. And I'm sorry again if my thoughts are all over the place, but I just want to help people and help spread, the knowledge of compulsive debting or compulsive shopping. And I've seen it from all walks of life. I've seen people that, make quite well into the six figures have compulsive debting problems. I've seen people, have no food in their fridge because they have a compulsive debting problem, and they spent all the money on something else because they felt that they needed it, and but they didn't have any money in their fridge, or any food in their fridge. So you don't have to be one extreme or the other to feel like you need to just get a better understanding of money and a better action plan when it comes to money. And everybody is going to have their own process of healing, not feeling, well, maybe feeling too, but their own process of healing. And, you have to find that process of healing for you. Something that I want to touch base on, if you do go to the DEBTORS.org website and you go through the signs of compulsive debting, and some of those touch your heart, and you go over to the 12 steps of Debtors Anonymous. I will touch more, and probably in the next video, about the 12 steps of Debtors Anonymous, just because that needs to be devoted to its own video. But if you go to the website and you're just trying to find some general information and you do end up on the 12 steps, please don't let it discourage you. If you're not a religious person, that it does have some religious connotations in here. You can take that however you want. If you're not a religious person, just think of, for example, it says, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. If you're not a religious person, you could just say, believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, believe in that you are going to get better. Give yourself positive energy, give yourself positive thoughts. Surround yourself with those who are supporting you and encouraging you to stay on the right path. Believe in the positive changes that you're making. Like another one, it says, turn our lives over to God and turn our will and our lives to the care of God as we understood Him. You don't have to take these 12 steps and, have it be about God or have it be about, you do it as you feel in your heart you want to do it. If you're not a religious person, you don't have to turn your life over to God. Turn your life over to positivity. Turn your life over to making a world a better place. Not to sound cheesy, but you could turn your life over to it's a better quality of life for you that doesn't require any additional financial investment. In a sense, turn your life over to positivity. Going back to surrounding yourself with positive people, positive things that you get joy in your heart from, that you don't leave yourself feeling guilty for doing. So, that's just what I wanted to say about that. If you do go to find, more information on the website and you're kind of turned off with the fact that, it does have some references to God or a higher power. So that's kind of what I wanted to say in regards to compulsive debting, compulsive shopping. It's hard. I know it's hard. I deal with it every day. It is especially hard in this day and age because YouTube videos, everybody's hauling. Everybody's showing, I bought this at Target, I bought that at Sephora, I bought, I spent hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and it makes you feel like if I want to be part of the club, if I want to be cool, if I want to do this, if I want to, put up this facade of look what I have, I'm so successful, you have to go out and do those things. So in a sense, if I had to call this series anything clever, it would be the anti-haul of YouTube. Because there's nothing on YouTube to my knowledge about compulsive shopping or compulsive debting, yet all these haul videos on all these people going out and showing the things that they've bought and spent all this money and done this and done that, it's, there has to be something to balance that out. And I just want to put these videos up to help balance it out, and hopefully somebody will get help from these and realize that, just because you see a video of somebody hauling, $700 from Sephora, you don't have to go out and do all those things. I find it very helpful to, if I'm watching a video and I like something that somebody has, and I think, gee, that's a really nice lipstick, I write it down on a piece of paper and I carry it with me. And, if I go into Sephora and I look at it and I think, oh, I don't really have $26 right now. At least I know it's $26. Maybe I can save up for it. And I guarantee you, by the time that I've saved up the money for the lip gloss or the lipstick that's $26, I probably don't even want it anymore. Because the initial want and the initial craving has passed. So, it's the same thing when you go to the store. Sometimes I go to the store and I just walk around with a basket. And I put a bunch of stuff in my basket and I walk around. And by the time I'm done walking around the store, I look at my basket and I calculate how much it's going to cost. And I think, geez, it's going to be $100 to buy all this stuff. I don't really want to do this. So I put all the stuff back. And you know what? I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care if the store workers look at me like I'm crazy. One, at least I'm putting the stuff back where I got it from and not just chucking it on a shelf. And two, it's none of their business. It's nobody's business what kind of personal struggle that you have to go through and the hurdles that you have to jump through to make a positive change in your life. If you don't know them personally and you're not bringing positive energy into your life, then who cares? You do what you need to do for you to create a healthier version of you. So that's all I have to say about all of this, and I really hope that it helps some people out. I don't know when I'll be posting the next video, but I'm sure it'll be in the next week. If you have any comments, questions, just go ahead and leave them below. Please only leave positive, encouraging information. Any negative information will be deleted. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And remember that you are enough and you have enough.